Entertainment for New Year's Eve on BBC One. At 7:15, My Fair Lady, starring Rex Harrison and Audrey Hepburn.
All I want is a room somewhere far away from the cold night air, with one enormous chair. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
At 10:10, a special edition of Larry Grayson's Generation Game. Includes highlights of the recent series.
The best of relations is our age. I only know.
At 11:05, Roy Castle tops the bill in the good old days.
Dance, 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 all night.
Big Ben at midnight is followed by a New Year celebration from Scotland. Entertainment for New Year's Eve on BBC One.
There's a new look coming to Sunday evenings on BBC One. At 7:45, Wendy Craig stars in a new series of Nanny, and the year is 1939.
Oh, Sam. What's going to happen now?
Happen? I should think a war's going to happen, Barbara.
I didn't mean that. I meant... Oh, I just meant I didn't think it would get this far.
Ah, be all right, old girl, don't worry. Be a bit of calm before the storm.
Then at 8:40, Mastermind enters its second decade with Magnus Magnusson firing the questions at 48 new contestants. At 9:10, John Nettles returns as Jim Bergerac, the rebel detective on the island of Jersey.
I trusted Charlie and my ex-wife about as far as I could throw.
We all want the same thing, Jim, to get her back unharmed.
But you are going the wrong way about it, Charlie.
A new look coming to Sunday evenings on BBC One.
Programmes for Holiday Monday evening on BBC One. At 6:45, Doctor Who.
Doctor! What is it?
Something's coming through.
Jim will Fix It returns with a new series at 7:10.
Hello, Trevor. Welcome to Adam's house.
Thank you very much.
This is Master Adam Thorpe, who wishes to have his house named after you.
The finals of the Circus World Championships are at 7:45. And at 9 o'clock, Papillon, starring Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman.
Welcome to the penal colony of French Guiana, whose prisoners you are, and from which there is no escape.
With the Mike Harding Show at 11:25, these are programmes for Holiday Monday evening on BBC One.
There are no words left to describe the superlative skill of the King and Queen of the Ice, Torvill and Dean. Tonight, Alan Weeks talks to the favourite sporting couple before they embark on their quest for triple gold. Torvill and Dean, tonight at 7:05 on BBC One. Skating for Gold with Torvill and Dean heads the lineup for this evening on BBC One, which also includes a visit to Dallas at 8:10, and at 9:25, John Schlesinger's classic film Midnight Cowboy, starring John Voight and Dustin Hoffman. With international golf, men versus women, at 11:15, this is Entertainment Tonight on BBC One.
The new world of entertainment on BBC One features the Navy's most secret service in Submarine. Submariners tend to think of ships as only two kinds, submarines and targets. Able to remain underwater for months on end, food is their only limiting factor. For the series, the BBC was granted unprecedented access to penetrate the silent world below the waves. A fascinating six-part record of the men and the machines that make up this elite branch of the Navy. Submarine, next Monday at 7:40 on BBC One.
Into 86, new drama for a new year on BBC One. Lewis Carroll's timeless tale for children of all ages, Alice in Wonderland.
Who are you?
I know who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have changed several times since then.
the search for some missing people and a possible fortune in Strike It Rich.
The city reckon those 50 10-bob shares are now worth something in the region of £250,000.
And a story of ambition, love, and international success, the legendary Bluebell.
You want me to find you 12 new girls?
And I want them to be different from any other chorus line in Paris.
The Collectors. A new boss brings rivalry and discontent to the customs house of a small port.
There's one thing you'd better learn us from this moment, Nigel. Chumminess is a thing of the past in this office.
And the adventures of Lovejoy, dealer in antiques extraordinaire.
Always assume it's a Goya, a Chippendale, a Sheraton, or a Michelangelo until you're proved otherwise.
New drama for a new year on BBC One. Into 86 with BBC One. And for a group of contrasting and totally unrelated people, it promises to be a bonanza year.
Don't you realise I could be worth £1 million if I can prove I exist?
Baxter's a con man, Jack. It's about time you learned to recognise me.
A search for lost shareholders.
Should any other person call with similar inquiries, would you please decline to answer their questions and ring me immediately on that number? That's absolutely vital in your wife's interest.
Ancient shares promise a fortune.
You mean that little sawn-off Houdini?
That's the Joker.
Yeah, haven't seen him for months. Someone was telling me he got to Paris.
Oh, pity. I might have a job for him.
Oh, yeah? What's it worth?
About $250,000.
Fascinating, isn't it? Somewhere out there are at least a dozen people whose lives will never be the same again. Not one of them has the slightest idea that's going to happen.
New drama for the new year. Strike It Rich starts next Saturday at 7:20 here on BBC One. Start Friday evening the Wogan way. Then at 7:40, Frank Spencer and the case of the killer vacuum cleaner. Some mothers do have them. At 8:10, Dynasty's back.
Let me help you. I know Crystal's been gone all night, and there was that call from the doctor. Why are you shutting me out?
I am not shutting you out.
Daddy, I'm your daughter. Whatever it is, I want to know.
At 9:30, a visit to the factory floor. Making out.
We're in a different league now, Bernie. And there's some out there still think it's Sunday morning kick-event. There's 15 to 20 here not pulling their weight.
At 10:20, Ludovic Kennedy drops in to talk about his misspent youth.
You wouldn't believe this, but when I was about 8, there was a friend of mine called Dick and I, and this was the ladies' section of the bathing hut, and we found a knot with a hole in it. And I had a cousin called Cynthia, who was very well endowed, and we used to take turns in having a look at her, you see. And I'm afraid Cynthia heard, and we got into awful trouble.
And with the late film, that's Friday on One. BBC One takes off into 88 and goes down under with a new series of Whicker's World.
In this series, we'll be meeting some of these Poms, the Welsh and Scots and Irish, who are living with waltzing Matilda. And through their eyes and lives, look at their new homeland as it prepares to celebrate its bicentennial year.
If your job is to care for and nurture crocodiles, rather than doing all this, why don't you just shoot them with a tranquilizer gun?
They're strange creatures. They're very easy to kill in that situation. You can drown a crocodile very easily.
It's very hard to give a crocodile a kiss of life.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think anyone's prepared to do that. Oh, anyway.
Whicker's World starting tonight at 10:20 and then Sundays at 8:10 in the new season on BBC One. BBC One takes off into the new year with a new series of Holiday 88.
Hello, behind us here is one of the most famous holiday waterfronts in the world, the port at Saint-Tropez.
That's just one of the places we'll be covering in the new series of Holiday 88. And there are lots of other exciting destinations to tell you about.
And that's Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock. Be there.
Holiday 88, part of the new season on BBC One. Drama for the new season on One.
Oh, it's nice to see you again. How long are you back for?
Forever. I think we're too old and decrepit to run away again.
Trevor Eve stars in a major new drama series, A Sense of Guilt.
How's the dreaded Inga these days?
I don't want to be alone.
You know I can't.
8 years of unrequited passion.
Is this a record?
It's not flattering, it's embarrassing and inconvenient. Timing is very important. It's like catching the tide.
If I really loved someone, it wouldn't matter how long I had to wait.
I've always been afraid I might behave like Inga if Felix left me.
Do you see anything of your father these days?
Now he's got Marsha and all those children, I'm sure he doesn't think about me much.
I should have thought he'd be haunted by you.
Trevor Eve and Rudy Davis star in A Sense of Guilt, coming soon to BBC One.
That was the police. They've started a murder investigation. There's some talk of suicide. You can't build a case on supposition.
I know his death wasn't suicide.
Well, looking back, it's true that my life ran a tepid course. I wasn't unhappy. Then along came Marlene. Tedium is seriously underrated.
I just don't think I'm ever going to get out of here. I don't think I'm strong enough.
Yes, you will. Don't give up. We're all working for you, but you've got to be strong too.
Drama on One. The new look to Saturday on One starts with classic cartoons, then name this tune when Jim fixes it for these guys and these gals. A surprise disguise at 6:25. And there's more to Paul Daniels' guest than meets the eye. At 7:40, a missing necklace and a family secret.
You haven't told Lisa.
Look, I don't want her to know.
Don't wait up at 8:35.
I am always putting my foot in it. Are either of you two married?
At 9:35, a midnight caller.
What's that?
Yeah, roger that.
It's a warning.
At 10:25, more tasteful topics in the full wax.
Actually, I'm on a diet. I'm on that rotation diet. Have you done that? You spin when you eat.
And with Snooker and Big Jake, that's the new lineup for Saturday on One.
New comedy on One with As Time Goes By. Into Europe, side by side.
He still hasn't forgiven me for having the hot pistachio himself.
Who's she?
DIY ghostbusting in So Haunt Me.
You switch it on, and if there are any malevolent spirits within 50 metres, come in!
And Victor's back with 1 foot in the grave.
Hello. Well, to drink this stuff or clean the windows with it.
New comedy from January on One. New drama on One. Ruth Rendell's Gallow Glass.
I saved your life. So your life belongs to me now.
All right.
Jimmy Nail is back in action as Spender.
Tell him I'll meet them there. And tell them it's gum shields.
For Frank and Tessa, it's love that hurts.
I know you're still carrying a torch for me.
Yes, a blowtorch. Now, what do you want?
A nice antique, perhaps, courtesy of Lovejoy.
20 grand for a car seat? Who she belong to? The Queen?
Napoleon Bonaparte, actually.
John Thor and Lindsay Duncan spend a year in Provence.
There's a goat in the supermarket.
There's another one driving that Peugeot.
New drama from January on One.
An exciting new attraction is needed for Dibley's Autumn Fair.
The awful truth, David, is we'd probably pull a bigger crowd with someone famous.
You mean Michael Fish?
I'm sure that Mr. Fish or his celebrity friends, Mr. Vegetable or Mrs. Potato, will be happy to oblige.
But Alice offers alternative attractions.
They don't look very, very similar, do they?
Well, they wouldn't, because that one's an Indian elephant.
Right.
You can tell by the ears, you see.
Yes, because it's got 3, hasn't it?
The Vicar of Dibley, Thursday, 8:30 on BBC One.
The New Adventures of Superman, Saturday at 7 on BBC One.
New Year's Eve on BBC One. The party starts at 6 round at Knowles with a Dennis Quilley gotcha and a flying visit from the Red Devils. At 6:50...
My mom will shoot!
Starring Estelle Getty and Sylvester Stallone. At 8:10, the live draw for the National Lottery with an estimated jackpot of £5 million. At 8:25, Barbara Streisand in the most talked about concert performance of the year. And at 10:30...
Reviewing the year that gave us Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley, the programme that gives you Clive James and Caroline Langrish.
Together for 90 minutes.
Longer than them.
New Year's Eve on BBC One. New Year's Day on BBC One. At 7, Romance for Nora.
What ancient magic plant? Mistletoe. Now they use these gravy granules instead.
And at 8...
You must be sure his body is taken home. Would you like an ice cream?
At 9, a strange encounter for Victor.
This is Mr. Meldrew from next door, and his friend Mrs. Warboys.
Evening, all.
And at 9:30, Joanna Lumley, Kate Beckinsale and Stephen Fry head an all-star cast in Stella Gibbons' Cold Comfort Farm. New Year's Day on BBC One.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a show about show tunes.
Something familiar,
Something peculiar,
something for everyone.
A comedy tonight.
You would if you could.
Yeah, but I shan't.
Courtney Pine, Sarah Lancashire, Nigel Planer and Elaine Page join Gary Wilmot.
When all the friendships have been forgot, ours will still be on.
In a spectacular medley of showstoppers.
Quack, quack, quack.
Next Sunday at 7:35 on BBC One. Something to sing and dance about this Saturday on BBC One. At 6:05, sensational samba in the Generation Game with Jim Davidson. Knockabout entertainment with Noel in the house at 7. A double rollover at 7:50 with Dale Winton. The National Lottery live with special guest Leslie Garrett.
Has she been having an affair? I think you better ask her yourself.
Tough Talking in Casualty at 8:05. The film premiere at 9:15 stars Christopher Reeve.
My wife did not die in that earthquake. I found her.
I am not your wife.
It's a nightmare in the daylight for Jacqueline Smith. 10:45, there's FA Cup 4th round highlights in Match of the Day, The Road to Wembley. Join the winning team Saturday night on BBC One.
They're back, but the rubbish game's over.
Gotta learn a few skills, maybe pass you by on bins.
Nev's moving on to greener pastures.
You get in on a bit and you meet somebody. You do not think it's going to be full trouser activity.
Jono's got some growing up to do.
Treat me like I'm nothing. Want some respect?
Respect? You're nothing but a kid!
I've got the devil inside me, and something's going to kill me unless you help me.
And there's just a little divine intervention.
We have hopes, that's the thing. High hopes.
Well, I felt inspired.
God always chooses a simple, uncomplicated person.
You're calling me thick?
The award-winning Commoner's Muck returns Wednesday, 8th of January on BBC One.
On the Rapids.
The biggest one is Gauntlet.
When do we do that one?
Well, we don't do that one.
But out of control.
They're so creepy. I just think we have to get away from them.
You're gonna get another chance to run the gauntlet. We're not stopping at Bridal Creek. I'm taking my family, and I'm leaving.
Meryl Streep
Do what I say when I say it. Otherwise, we got no chance in hell of making it through.
opens a series of Sunday movies. The River Wild. Sunday at 7:15 on BBC One.
A new series for 1998.
It's a whole new beginning for me, Tracy. No more than that. It's a complete life lift.
Probably the only thing about you that hasn't been lifted.
Sharon makes a fresh start.
In an abattoir. Money's not bad. And I like working with animals.
It's also chop and change at home.
Our setup won't be like a marriage. We haven't been out for ages. Sorry, Trace. I'm meeting the lads later.
A new series of Birds of a Feather starts Monday at 8:30 on BBC One.
Friday night on BBC One at 9.
This was a wedding present.
We nicked it from my brother's wedding.
It's Wayne and Winetta's Guide to Wedded Bliss.
You're a bit of a cyclist, aren't you? Am I? You got your little chopper out last week.
And at 9:30, they think it's all over. 60 minutes of comedy Friday night from 9 p.m. on BBC One.
I swear by Almighty God to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
He has stolen my son.
Turn King's evidence, and your guilt is set aside at that moment.
You're a man who will have others hanged for a reward.
Each man's life should carry at least one moment of recklessness.
Justice awaits. Garrow's Law. The new series starts Sunday at 9 on BBC One and BBC One HD.